Hello and welcome back to the Agate Bay YouTube channel. Today we have a special guest and his name is Marcel. He just wanted to join us. He's been sitting right over there, but then he needed a little bit of attention. So welcome Marcel, everyone. And the funny thing is Marcel is actually also my third first name. So I have three first names, and my Facebook account, Joshua Lecrum Ritter, is actually Marcel in reverse if you spell Lecrum. And my journey with Agate Bay, and that's what this video is also about. How did Agate Bay even start? Like what happened that this company and this YouTube channel are even existing today? And Facebook was a big factor at the beginning of when I started selling and getting into agates. And this is why the name Marcel is also part of this video, because my Facebook name is Joshua Lecrum Ritter. So if you are not friends with me there, then you're welcome to send me a friends request, and I'll happily accept it. So today's video is like what even got me into agates and how did this even all start. So it was a viewer's question, and if you have any questions about my company or agates or anything else, you're welcome to drop a comment and we'll try to pick it up in any of our future videos. So you just get to know a little bit more about myself and what is happening behind the scenes. So this agate right here that you can see is actually the very first agate I have ever been exposed to. This was in my grandma's house, and agates in Germany are not like super popular, so you don't like see them all over the place, but it's rather something that when you talk about, people will be Achat, so that's the German translation for it. What is that even? Like in Germany, it's just not common knowledge to know what an agate is. I feel like it's much wider spread knowledge in the US because there are so many public locations where you can actually find these yourself, or so much wearable jewelry that people know what an agate is. But in Germany, it's just not very well known. Although it has a very long tradition with agates, it's just talking to random people. It's just nothing they they talk about or know. So this piece I first saw, or I have like memories about this piece, that it was like on the window shelf of my my grandpa's house, and I was probably like maybe 7 years old when I have the first memories about this agate. And I mean, it's actually a pretty ugly piece. I mean, it's a slice, it's a Brazilian agate, it's mostly consisting of quartz and only has a tiny little bit of an agate layer. But I have clear memories about it, and I thought it's just a cool rock. And I think that's really what got me more into rocks in general, and why I kept smashing open like random pebble stones to see if there's anything inside. I have clear memories of me doing that when I was a little child and just hoping there would be any crystals inside. Most of the time it was not the case. Big spoiler there. And there was another piece that my father actually inherited from his parents, and it was a huge-sized dyed Brazilian agate that has like these classic brown white colors, like you see them from very old stock heat-treated specimens. So that's probably from like the late 1900s or early 20th century. So those two are the first pieces that I've been exposed to. And I also have a couple more pieces in front of me here that mark specific parts as milestones in my life with Agate Bay. So I've been exposed to rocks since I was a little child. I've always been interested in agates or minerals foremost. Agates came at a little bit later time, I would say. But dinosaurs have been a really big passion of mine. And when I was a child, I've been like, I had a section of my life where I was dreaming to become a paleontologist, I think is the English word for it. And my oldest sister told me I had difficulties learning and reading, so I was not an easy child who would just like pick up stuff. But I was so interested in dinosaurs and these creatures that she taught me on how to read and speak by learning the names of dinosaurs. So that's always the crazy story that she tells. I'm not sure if it's true. I don't have the memories about it exactly anymore, but I do have the old dinosaur box from back in the day still. So that's definitely a true part of the story. And yeah, I've been collecting agates that I can think of. It started with eBay in Germany. So, just on eBay looking at rocks together with my dad, getting him excited about agates as well. And we've just been bidding on like random rocks for just like, a couple bucks a piece. Low quality agates are so affordable, and especially on eBay you can just like shoot some great deals. So we were like so excited to get some pretty basic rocks for just so little money. And we started building a little collection together. And I remember in time in school that I sometimes would like after school I would like head over to eBay and try to be placing a bid in the last few seconds and come out winning on top. So I think that was really also part of the thrill back in the day. But of course, the more you buy, the also more increases the quality that you're interested in, because for the lower quality specimens, it's just getting a little bit more repetitive and the colors are not as strong, the banding is not as fine, there's fractures. And the more you buy, of course, the higher your standards are going to get. So I think after a year or two, we had a pretty solid collection together. I mean, I had no money, of course, so my father was financing most of it, and that was the beginning. So basically, young teenager times, and then I think in like high school section, I just was focused a little bit more on schools and doing sports. So I little bit went out of the agate game for maybe 2 years, the last 2 years of high school. And then after high school, I studied sports science and management. But I quit after a year, and then I was just like lost in life and had no idea about what I was going to do. So I moved together with my best friend Carl, who some of you actually met in Tucson probably in 2025 because I flew him in and he hung out with me there. I just didn't know what to do with my life, so I was lost. I just took some basic jobs in a bakery and in a bicycle place and in a grocery store, just to get a little bit of money and try to survive. And that was also when I got in touch with a very famous German dealer. His name was Peter Jeckel. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, but he was really the one that got me into the entire business aspect of it and trade. And he offered me that I could start selling agates for him without any risk. So I didn't have to put any money down. And he would offer me a 30% commission from any sales that I would be doing for him. So he was like saying, the internet, it's such a new thing, and I'm too old to do this. So can you help me with selling some of the stuff? So it was like so easy and convenient for me, because I had plenty of time but had no money to put down to make my own investments to get started. So that was really just ideal for me. And he lived pretty close to where I was, so I would drive out to him every 2 days and sometimes stay overnight at his place and just look at rocks, take pictures, put them on Facebook in groups, get in touch with customers. And that was really the very start of it. And just selling agates for Peter Jeckel, and and also some overstock from my father's collection that he was like, yeah, I think we can let go of that. So that was the very start of the business there. And also already in school time, we have to have like a practica. So during school you have like 1 week off, and you have to pursue a job, like a 1 week practicum, that you can think about working in the future. So I did my practicum actually at the company of Peter Jeckel. So that was definitely also business orientated start of what could happen, like cutting rocks, polishing them, getting into the marketing of them. But that was the very beginning. And from there, it was just very slowly, I sold maybe for a couple $100 at a time with making 30% profit. So if I made like $100 or $200 in a month, I was like, I can actually make money with rocks. I was like, I couldn't believe it in the beginning. And I always just thought the market was so limited, because I always only saw like such a small portion of it from coming to be a collector, and not like really approaching it from a sales side. But the more I've been posting, I've been getting in touch with more people. the more customers I of course got, and I still have some of the same customers from when I started out, more than 10 years ago now. So it's just crazy how it's been going from there on out. It continued for like maybe 2 years. That was just like on and off, sometimes having terrible sales and not making any money off at all, hardly being able to cover any cost of living with extra other jobs that I was doing, and other months where when it was like really good. I remember I had deals with Tom Lane, for example, where I was sourcing some agates for him over here in Europe and got a commission out of him on like a buyer's, like curating material for him and get a commission out of that. And then I made like $1,000 in a month, and I was like, I'm gonna be rich now. But of course, when you're like a student, you have no living expenses and everything. I mean, now you have to cover insurance, rent is higher. I'm renting a store and everything. Like I have probably close to, probably more than 5 digits spendings just in business expenses every month for sure. For sure, I'm spending more than $10,000 every month on just keeping it running. So it's just like an entirely different world. And then I had a couple months where business was just terrible and nobody would buy rocks from me. I don't know if it was like a financial recession or something, but I just had a very hard time. And my mom was not a big fan of, of me living from day to day. And so she said, son, you have to go and do something proper with your life. So I went back to university. I knew a professor for geology. His name is Jens Götze. We've also done a couple of projects in the past, traveling to Mexico, for example, together to do some research on the Cormido and Laguna agate mines. That was very exciting. He got me into university as like a mentor a little bit there, but I didn't have any classes with him. So the basic studies of geology and mineralogy at the university in Freiberg were actually just chemistry, math, physics, and just a very tiny little part of geology and mineralogy. And I had no fun doing that. And I only am motivated in my life if I really have a drive moving forward with like results that keep me excited. But like studying dry stuff is really nothing that gets me excited overall. So also I've been like slowly fading out of studies after maybe a year or so, when I got the exciting news that my sister was in China at the time, at a university teaching German and English. And the exciting news was actually that the Chinese agate mines have been discovered and made it into international markets. So that was also through Facebook that I've been gotten the attention or the awareness that the mines have been found. And I was like, wow, these are so beautiful and crazy. And I had the first really, really large scale deal there to an art dealer, who's probably watching some of my videos too. It's been years ago, but we've been talking about projects of installing like high-end agates in like premium quality art pieces for millionaires and billionaires. This art dealer really helped me establish my business with this larger scale deal that was on a Sunday at a show, the Munich show. And usually the Munich shows on Sundays, they're usually pretty slow because it's mostly just people wanting to buy a couple tumblestones and that. But you always have to be there and be excited and about the material you have. And that was just one of the crazy moments that was definitely having a huge impact on my life. And of course, also being able to finance other trips. I went to Morocco for the first time to source the agates there, and establish good relationships with some of the miners. But Morocco is a wild country. It's a little bit like like you can imagine the Wild West. There's so many competing dealers. It's difficult to do business there. That's all I can tell you without going too much into detail. But yeah, Morocco, China were definitely big parting points. And let me now get into some of these agates that I have in front of me that have been like somewhat of an impact in my life as an agate dealer. This here is one of the very early high quality agates that I remember cutting myself. This is a condor agate from Argentina, which I bought as a rough stone from Peter Jeckel for, I think the material back in the day was maybe less than $20 a pound. So very affordable material. And I sold one half of the specimen pretty immediately for, I think, 1,500 euros at the time. So it was mind-blowing to me. And it's just a beautiful piece with chromatography, but I've been hanging on to this piece because it's just, part of my history with the agates and the tradition I have with it. Another piece is this one right here, which I've been finding close to where I'm living now in a gravel pit. It's ugly as it can be, but self-collected agates are always just hitting a little bit different than specimens that you buy, and of course it takes unbelievable amounts of times until you actually find your own crazy good quality specimens. So I'm just so grateful that I have the connections with so many people that are sourcing these agates, or collectors that contact me when they want to like narrow down their collections a little bit. But yeah, self-collected agates are definitely also part of my life, more of the past, so because I'm just too busy now to do it, and I also find much more joy in cutting the agates myself. So cutting is a much more important aspect of my private life also, and of course business as well, than collecting agates. But sourcing agates, of course, is also a huge part, and this agate has just one of the most crazy stories you can imagine. This little polished part here is from one of the very early mining operations I started in Malawi. I think it must have been probably 2017, maybe. I think that's about when I started mining Malawi, 2017, 2018. And I found this agate in rough, and it was a broken piece. And I got it to Germany to get it polished, and it's been my collection ever since. I love the symmetry in this piece, just the fine banding and everything else. And years later, I think it's just been 2 years ago. So from now it's 20. It was in 2023, I think, in Tucson, when I saw the other half of this agate. And this is big thanks to Veronica, the CEO of the gem shop, because they have been buying tons of this material from me to supply it to pretty much everyone who has Malawi agates in the US by now. And she had picked this agate out of the rough because it's just been smiling at her. She had it at her front desk, and I was like, Veronica, I have the other half of this rock. It's been 5 years. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how sometimes parts are just like fitting perfectly together in both business aspects and just like this literal way. Just finding these agates getting back together like years after it. And I mean, Malawi agates, they're so small. I mean, we're talking maybe about 1 million Malawi agates, and what are the chances that years later the other half of this specific one piece is found in rough that I sold years ago, just an entirely different part of the world. Just mind-blowing. But I'm also not just grateful for the business partners and everybody who helped me get to the point where I am, but also to the employees. I had my first employee working for me, that was Carl. He really helped me automate some processes and speed up my business. He helped me set up my first website, just get everything run more automatically, help me with shipping, invoicing, and everything else, because those were all new parts of my business that I just didn't have the time and also the stress to handle it. Like, I love cutting rocks and talking to customers and being engaged with people, but I hate paperwork, I hate finances. It's just nothing I find any joy in. So there's also a huge thanks for everyone who's been working for me. I had employees switch over time, and this special piece here is for my manager right now. His name is Jigosh. He's from Poland. He is super excited for agates, and he found this personally just near to where I'm living here in Germany. I'm just so grateful for all the employees that help me get done everything, because we have so many orders that are coming in every day, and so many questions, and like so many emails and everything. Like, I have 5 employees right now who help me behind the camera. You can not see Clemens right now, but he's also just such a huge help with everything, cutting the videos here for you guys, and posting on social media. His father is working for me as well. His brother is working for me when he has time in the holidays. Then Laurin was an employee for many years for me, really grinding it out there. Yeah, just so many big parts. And of course also the US is gonna be a super exciting new way for me, growing my business in the US, and new employees there that will help me get through everything. So just big thanks to everyone who's been getting me to the point where I am, both customers and all the workforce behind this business. This agate, you've seen it in my collection video before. I link it right up there somewhere, so you can see the collection video. It's been one of my favorite videos, honestly, on my channel so far, so make sure to check it out. But this agate here was really, I think the most expensive agate I've ever been treating myself to at the time. Everybody told me it was too much, but I just love this agate so much, and I still do. Just the colors and the design in this agate. This was really the first really valuable agate I've been treating myself to without have any intentions of wanting to resell it. It's been staying for me for a very long time, and I'm still absolutely in love. And talking about love, the logo agate, which I also have a picture of right now on the screen, I hope you can see it, has the same share of colors with this blue, yellow, red color composition and white. That is just like my personal favorite color combination, but every collector has his own, patterns and colors that they're drawn to, and that's also, of course, something important, that everybody just has their own favorites and varieties. But this logo agate, when I cut it, was also part of the first mining operations when this agate has been found at the Alimajo mine. It was probably one of the first 1,000 agates I've been cutting from the Alimajo mine, and it still remains for me personally the most perfect agate from this locality that I've ever cut. I don't have it here in the video right now, but it's sure a highlight. And so is this agate right here, also just matching my most favorite colors. And yeah, a lot of times it's really just about the connections that I have with other collectors, and that's also how I've been able to get this absolute stunning Chinese agate. It is my favorite piece of what I've been getting in the last 2 years. And yeah, now let's Marcel pick a favorite, or maybe he wants to just jump over there and just join me over to my side a little bit here. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have more questions about how everything's been happening, I mean, I've just really been touching the base, and there are so many individual stories from travels I have to Mexico, Morocco, Malawi, Mozambique, China. I've been checking it out all. It's an exciting life, and I love it, and I'm so grateful that all of you viewers and customers and collectors make that possible. So this is also a big thanks to everybody who's watching this video right now. We are live right now on this channel as you're finishing to watch this video right now. It will be the last live sale and hangout show we are going to do this year. So then the next time you're going to see me live is going to be from Tucson. We'll have some beautiful pieces. We will do some themes with parallax pieces like crazy and other special specimens for the last live show of this year, and I hope to see you over on my channel right now for the next few hours to hang out.